Alrighty, guys, Dr. Rage. It's Sunday, it's almost 8, and I'm going to try to make this quick so it gets posted by then. Okay, so here we go. Everything's still been looking fine with our sine curve theory, the white line of truth theory, and the orange line to MOASS, okay? But one thing I really wanted to go over was a surprise little fractal that I have not personally published yet, and you might have just seen it up there for a moment. Okay, now I'm not a big fan of the fractals because, well, I've made a fractal prediction before, and it was absolutely horrible. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the one or anything, but if you too want to follow this fractal, we're going to be going back to all the way in July 20th of 2020. So what I did from this point was find this right here. That's the date, July 20th, 2020. You could drag it to whoever high you want because that was the bottom. But what I saw in here was this W, and you could see it up here. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back. Don't worry. All right. So pretend, if anything, this was April, May, the sneeze, and now we're back to, well, you know, a bottom and a reversal or continuation. In this case, it was a reversal, right? Yeah. So here's our May lines and... May lines, and then now to now. So anyways, I put the fractal in here. Let's bring her down. I placed it at the bottom. I had to adjust the size. You see how it's looking pretty interesting so far, right? Let's do that. We'll go over here. Now, one of the big things of my orange theory, the orange line theory to MOASS, is that we will gap above it. Well, this fractal is kind of interesting because we end up gapping above it very close to earnings, okay? But remember, fractals are not perfect in time. They might not be perfect in measurement and height of how high they go or how low they go. But this is what we're looking at. And so this purple line, which ended up being the first trend that we had ever started. I'd have to go back to like... down in here, okay, on 5-minute candles. That's the purple line that you're looking at on the macro view, okay? That's where we had our inverse head and shoulders, our nice reversal, and, well, that's where we caught the bottom. Well, now we're following back up to this purple line. I'm going to go back to daily because it's so hard to see everything. But this fractal decides to come back to the purple line, okay? So I don't want to scare anyone at all first either, that we're going back to 21, 24. That's not it. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm not saying anything's happening, honestly, but what could be happening is the bigger thing, okay? If we just went through this little session and Friday, you know, we had not the greatest day, but will we come back down here a little, or will we pop back above this blue line next week? Personally, I think either could happen, but the idea is that it just looks so nice. It just looks so nice, guys. And most of the time, these fractals, they don't work out. And I don't want to bum anyone out, but my goodness, this could be the one. And I'm not saying it is. But let's keep an eye going forward, because everything else, like the fractal alone, okay, I would just disregard it. That's why I didn't want to make a video about this, but considering everything else going on, the sine curves that we go through, where we go above, we go below, and then we strike through the orange line eventually. It happened every single time, guys. Every single time. Every single time we've gotten close to the sine curve, or like close to the orange line, a sine curve is made, which is this squiggly guy, okay? And because of that and everything else going on with the white line of truth, the orange line to the next sneeze, and then this fractal nearly lines up perfectly with earnings and a gap over it. If there was ever a time to gap over the orange line, okay, and that's at this point at earnings, $26 plus. So like everyone would be happy if we made it there by the beginning of December. Like I would love that. Anything higher than 20 is super. So just keep that in mind, and, well, there's a lot of stuff on the table here, folks, and let's just hope the election doesn't like kill GameStop or the rest of the world this week, because there's a lot of crazy sentiment with that. But I'm going to cut it here, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments as always. Thank you, and have a great trading week, guys. Thanks, Dr. Rage.